In this video we're going to be looking at the equation of a circle, finding the equation of a circle with centre HK. Now I'll be mentioning HK throughout this video, and all HK represent are just coordinates that are not 0, 0. Okay, so they could be 1, 2, they could be 5, 7, they could be -7, 8, and any numbers that is centre that isn't 0, 0. Okay, the formula for equation of a circle with centre HK is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Okay, in order to use this formula we need to have the centre and we need to have the radius. Okay, and I will show you how to use the formula here. Alright, so the first example here says find the equation of the circle with centre 1 minus 2 and radius 3. Okay, so our formula here is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Okay, we have been given our centre, so we're going to label our centre HK, and our radius is equal to 3. Okay, and once we've done that we can sub those straight into the equation of the circle formula. So we have h is equal to, as you can see, h is equal to 1 and k is equal to -2, as you can see. Okay, and because it's a minus number I'm just going to put it into a bracket. Okay, our radius here is 3, and so we square that. Alright, once we've done that, we've subbed in our values, that's the hard part done. We're just going to tidy it up a small bit, and what we get is x minus 1 squared, so that doesn't simplify any further, but this one actually does. So as you can see here, 2 minuses will give us a plus, so this is going to be y plus 2 squared, and our radius squared is actually equal to 9. And that is the answer, that's us finished. Okay, another way the question could be asked is they could ask you to write down the centre and radius given the equation. So if we go back and just compare our formula to the equation that they've given us, okay, we can clearly see that r squared is equal to 64. So if we want to find our radius, which is just r, we're just going to get the square root of both sides. So our radius here is actually 8. Okay, the hardest part is probably finding the centre, and we can sort of just read them straight from the formula. So as you can see, minus h is equal to -3, and minus k is equal to to plus 1. Okay, so we know that our centre is actually plus hk, so a positive h and a positive k. So if minus h is equal to -3, then h must be plus 3. And if minus k is equal to plus 1, then plus k must be equal to -1. So our centre here is 3 minus 1. And in general, you're just sort of changing the sign. So if you're pulling a centre from an equation, it's not going to be -3, it's going to be plus 3, and it's not going to be plus 1, it's going to be -1. And you can refer back to the previous example there as well. 1 in here turns to -1, and -2 turns to plus 2. Okay, and as you practice a few of those, it will become sort of second nature. Okay. The most difficult way they can ask this question is sometimes they don't give you the length of the radius. So as we said at the beginning, in order to use this formula for equation of a circle, they must give you the centre and they must give you a radius, the length of the radius. Okay, but in this question it says A12, the point 12, is a point on the circle with centre -5, 3. And it asks us to find the equation of the circle. So at the moment we have got the centre, so it's -5, 3, but we don't have the radius. So how do we go about finding that? The only piece of information is they've given us a point on the circle here, and on the circle just means it's somewhere on the sort of circumference of the circle. Okay? So if you think about it, if you join these 2 points up, that is actually a radius. So if we could somehow find the length of that, then we'll have the length of the radius. So we go back to coordinate geometry of the line, and all we're going to do is use the distance formula to find the distance between the centre and the point on the circle, and that will give us our radius. Okay, so the point A here is 1, 2, and the centre is -5, 3. So we're going to label our points x1, y1 and x2, y2. Okay, and sub them straight into our distance formula. Okay, x2, as you can see, is -5, minus x1, which is 1, plus y2, which is 3, minus y1, which is 2, and that's squared. Okay. As we simplify that, we can put that straight into our calculator. We should get 37. Okay. And so now we have our radius. The length of our radius is in fact 37. The square root of 37, sorry. Okay, so now we go back to the beginning. We actually have the centre and now we have the radius. So we're going to take our x minus h squared, our formula, y minus k squared equals r squared. And we're going to sub in the values that we know. Okay, so we know that hk, our centre, is minus 5, 3. And we know that our radius now, or, is equal to the square root of 37. Okay, so we're just going to sub those straight into our formula. And when we do that, we get x minus, now just be careful here, because h is a negative number, we're going to put it into a bracket. So x minus h, but h is equal to minus 5, so we're sticking it into a bracket, plus y minus k, we don't need to put that one in a bracket because it's not negative, equals the square root of 37, and remember that we have to square the radius. Okay. When we do a little bit of tidying up here, what we're left with is x plus 5 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals, and the square root of 37 squared is actually 37. Okay, just be careful here, two minuses will give us a plus. And that's our answer.